Some new information has been released about Charlotte Flair, so we'll see what's happening there. We'll also take a look at what's happening with Liv Morgan, AJ Lee, and more. Starting things off with the latest on Charlotte Flair. Last time we spoke about Charlotte, it was mostly positive news and rumors that there was already a time period and a big plan in place for her return story to WWE. However, newer reports have completely changed that narrative about that previous rumor, and now they're reporting otherwise. These new reports claim that Charlotte Flair's name is not currently on the table for any creative plans, and that there allegedly is no exact date in mind for her return. They claim that Charlotte has yet to gain full medical clearance coming off her torn ACL injury, and how no plans have been set in motion until her medical clearance takes place. So just a completely different note from what all the rumors and reports were saying just a few weeks ago about Charlotte's status. Despite this new report claiming that Charlotte still isn't cleared to compete, fans are still holding out hope for a late 2024 return for Charlotte Flair. There's not much information about her return, especially now since reports claim that no plans have been drawn up yet. But the easy assumption and fan guess is that Charlotte Flair will be making her return on the SmackDown brand. WWE has a tendency to keep major couples on the same brand with each other. So considering that Charlotte's husband, Andrade, is already on SmackDown, it's safe to assume that she'll be joining him on the Blue brand within the next few months here of her highly anticipated return. And when you think of Charlotte Flair, of course you instantly think of the women's title and the main event scene of the women's division. So shortly upon her return to SmackDown, it's another safe assumption to make that it won't go long until Charlotte Flair becomes the #1 contender again for the WWE women's title. And with Charlotte being fresh and hungry for gold coming off this injury, that puts whoever's champion at the time at a very vulnerable position. Whether that champion is Nia Jax, Bayley, Tiffany Stratton, or someone else, you better believe that Charlotte Flair will be standing in the ring with that champion in no time. And this return situation is something we've discussed before, and it seems like it'll really work, especially if one of those 3 women we just listed is the champion when Charlotte Flair is back. Charlotte has a great story with all those 3 women. You have the intense history and rivalry dating back to several years ago with Nia Jax. So WWE would have a lot of rich history there between those two to implement into the story. And with Bayley, that's one of Charlotte's day ones, a 4-horsewoman original member. They arguably have the longest amount of history with each other in the women's division. So you just know that would be a great story and match. And with Tiffany Stratton, that's another great story and feud that pretty much writes itself. That would be like having the present going up against the future. A big dream match between expert veteran and impressive rookie. Not to mention that Charlotte Flair quite literally was the main inspiration for Tiffany Stratton to get in the ring in the first place. So, still rich history and backstory to use there as well. So there may be uncertainty right now regarding the time frame and plans for Charlotte Flair's return, but if she's truly coming back to the Blue brand, there will be several great feuds and stories for Charlotte to jump right back into, so it should be exciting. A recent Instagram comment section interaction is getting a lot of attention because of who was referenced and brought up. This all started with a WWE social media video where superstars were asked about some of their pet peeves. Liv Morgan's response was about people who rush off the plane and how she's not a fan of that. CM Punk left a comment on the video, giving Liv Morgan a backhanded sort of compliment. He acknowledged that her airplane take was so right, but how her taste in men was so bad and wrong. Of course referring to Dominic Mysterio, and how Dominic claps when the plane lands. A lot of fans were tagging Dominic and Liv to instigate the situation and get a response going there to CM Punk. And it was Liv who answered the call. Liv Morgan responded to Punk by saying that she can say the exact same thing about his wife, which of course Liv is saying that AJ Lee has horrible taste in men for marrying CM Punk. So that response from Liv Morgan went extremely viral within the community. AJ is quietly minding her business and has been fully out of the game for nearly 10 years now, but she continues to get brought up in almost all of CM Punk's current interactions and stories. And she found herself catching a stray here once again from Liv Morgan, and that remark she left on Instagram, saying that AJ needs to be questioned for her taste in men. Liv's comment instantly got the gears turning for fans and all the fantasy booking ideas. CM Punk just revealed in a recent interview that one of the individuals he's looking forward to working with on Raw following the Drew McIntyre feud is Dominic Mysterio. As crazy and bizarre as it sounds, CM Punk does have a lot of history with Dominic Mysterio inside the WWE ring, dating all the way back to when Dom was just 13 years old. That was in 2010, when a heel CM Punk absolutely terrified a young Dominic Mysterio and a young Aaliyah Mysterio in the middle of SmackDown right in front of Rey Mysterio. So if Dominic and CM Punk find themselves engaged in a new feud, chances are that WWE will absolutely bring up that 2010 segment and implement elements of that moment into the current day. A lot has changed since that 2010 segment too, and WWE would absolutely shine some light on that fact if that feud does happen. And of course, assuming Punk does break into this big feud with Dominic Mysterio, that means he'll also have Liv Morgan and the rest of the Judgment Day as his oppositions. And WWE has also highlighted the idea that CM Punk doesn't exactly have much on-screen friends that are willing to help him out in this current moment. So if Punk can't find any help against Liv Morgan and Dominic Mysterio, what if he has no other choice but to turn to his own wife, AJ Lee, for assistance, giving AJ the perfect opportunity to get back at Liv Morgan for that out-of-bounds Instagram remark. So even though AJ isn't around physically, she's constantly a part of CM Punk's current events with constant name drops and references. Her name was on the bracelet that Drew and Punk were fighting over for several months. Drew McIntyre has mentioned and name-dropped AJ on several occasions, even as recently as September 30th, where he said that AJ will leave Punk after what he did to him at Bad Blood. And now you got that Liv Morgan remark as well. So it's extremely up in the air if we'll ever see AJ Lee return, even in a small cameo role. But it surely looks like the door for the return will constantly stay open, considering how often she's referred to and name-dropped. So it'll all be up to AJ herself if she wants to make that happen. CM Punk has said on several times that a return from AJ is something that he really gets excited about and will love to see as a fan. But he knows that our current career schedule is a bit too hectic for it to happen right now. But fans will continue to keep hope and will continue to discuss it, especially when WWE superstars keep dragging her into the conversation. But what are your thoughts on today's stories? Leave your comments below. Don't forget to subscribe with all notifications on and leave a like if you enjoyed. Thanks for watching, guys.